Masahiro Tanaka has been posted. The clock is ticking now for all these teams to put their bids in, negotiate with them, but it's been pretty quiet. Where's this at?
It's been quiet, Bob, because of the holidays, but this will pick up steam. The courting process has begun in a quiet way, but it's going to get noisier, and we know the Yankees are going to be at the forefront. They want Tanaka. They want a durable pitcher, a young pitcher that they could put at the front of their rotation. But as we all know, this is going to cost money. And whether it's the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs, or the Mariners, Tanaka is going to weigh all of his options. He has Casey close as an agent, which I think is a good thing for the Yankees because we know the Casey-Jeter connection. He has had good relationships with the Yankees, but let's look for this to heat up. I believe next week we'll start to hear some more talk about where he might end up.
Jack is absolutely right. It's going to heat up, Bob, but I think it's going to play out all the way to the last day. I think we're talking about an 11th hour, 11:59. There's no reason for Tanaka to sign any sooner than he has to. It's a one-month window. I think he's going to take advantage of it, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this go to January 23rd with all kinds of jockeying between the teams. It's going to be an intense negotiation.
Yeah, things wouldn't change unless somebody blows him out of the water right now, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, he has absolutely no incentive to sign before then. And you're going to look, I mean, he's clogging up the whole pitching market because this guy is that good, and he's going to cost a lot of money, and you're looking for the teams that are going to be desperate to add a top-of-the-rotation kind of pitcher. I think the Yankees fit that description. They're going to spend money, and they really need another starting pitcher. Other teams are also in that mix. The Angels, I think, have a big need. They've invested heavily in Albert Pujols and Josh Hamilton without many results, and they also are like the Yankees. Their back of the rotation is a little bit shaky. I'd expect to see those teams involved, and of course, because the posting price is so low, $20 million, just about every team can get involved. So there might be some dark horses here too.
See, I'm glad you brought that up, Tyler, because now it becomes about money. They got to spend the money to get this guy. But you're also hearing out there, Bob, that there are some teams that are taking a look at his innings total over his 7 years in Japan, and especially what he did at the end of this past season. Ultimately, how big a concern will that be?
It depends on which team is talking about. I mean, if you're talking about the Yankees who need an immediate boost, who really have to get back to the playoffs next year, I don't think Tanaka's innings are going to play into how much they offer him. I think they need a front-of-the-line pitcher for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they'll worry about years 6, 7, 8 when they get there. But you're absolutely right. There's a lot of wear and tear on Tanaka's arm. Tom Verducci did a fascinating piece for Sports Illustrated about the number of innings he's actually thrown by the age of 24. That total is 1,300. No pitcher in the big leagues has thrown that much at that age since Frank Tanana between 1973 and 1978. And any historian will tell you what happened to Tanana's arm after he just blew it out, lost his fastball. Tanaka throws a very, very tough, difficult pitch in the splitter. He throws it almost 20% of the time. And if you think about it, if you just imagine my fist is a baseball. Now you jam the second and third fingers, the index and middle fingers in there as far as you can go, because that's what you have to do to throw a splitter. You can feel it all the way up to the upper forearm into the elbow. Now, throw the ball as hard as you can to get 90-mile-an-hour velocity, and you can understand why pitchers who throw the splitter eventually lose their fastball. It's a guarantee. So teams who are bidding on Tanaka are thinking about that very equation.
We see the pitch selection that Bob was talking about, and obviously the splitter is a big part of his arsenal. The Yankees had 8 scouts look at Tanaka, and they've all filed their reports, and that's why they're interested in him. What Bob is talking about is part of the unknown in going after a pitcher who has never faced a major league hitter. You know that organizations are thinking about that. How much wear and tear is on this arm? What are we going to get? He pitched once a week over there. He's going to pitch once every 5 days here. But all of that being said, I still think there's going to be an all-out bidding war for this guy. I think everything Bob said is accurate, that you do worry about the arm, but I think teams still believe that this guy is a top-of-the-rotation guy, maybe a 1, maybe a 1A. They want him very badly. The Yankees are one of those teams.
Yeah, and let's face it, guys. I mean, the Yankees don't go out and spend all that money on Brian McCann and Jacoby Ellsbury and Carlos Beltran to back it up with a rotation the way it is right now. I mean, they can talk a lot about the candidates they have for the 4 and 5 spot, but if you're going to go all in on offense the way the Yankees did, they really need to support that offense with a better pitching staff. Might as well go all in for the best guy out there.
All right, let me kind of kick it around a little bit. Then who ultimately is in the bidding for his services? I mean, realistically, every team in the majors could throw $20 million down as a posting fee, but it's up to him where he wants to go ultimately.
I think it's some of the teams we've already mentioned. I think Yankees and Dodgers right at the top of that list. I think the Angels are in the mix. You hear about the Seattle Mariners trying to cap off their Robinson Cano signing by getting a guy like Tanaka to really make an even bigger splash. They have a history of dealing with Obviously, Japanese player Ichiro being the main one. But, Bob, I go back to the Yankees' connection with Casey Close via Jeter and also the Yankees' history with Japanese players. You look at the other players they've had in the past. You see what Tanaka did last year. Guys like Matsui, the fact that they have Kuroda now. I think all of that works in their favor. Tanaka is a guy who, in coming over here, he's telling everyone, I want to be a major league pitcher. Well, you want to come over and be a major league pitcher, and you want to make a splash. You want to go to one of the marquee franchises. And when I think of marquee franchises, Yankees and Dodgers are right at the top of that list.
Absolutely right, Jack. However, don't expect the Red Sox to not be in it. I think they're going to be at the front of the line as well. Look, they're going to say, for all the Yankees' legacy and for all the Dodgers' money, we are the world champions. We've got the dynasty going since 2004. We've won 3 World Series. Now, you want to win, you want the real spotlight, you want to be pitching as the last guy standing in October, come to Boston, come to Fenway. That's their sales pitch, and it's a powerful one. You
know, a lot of little things factor into all this decision-making. Do you think it would matter to him that he had a Japanese teammate on his team in the majors?
It could, but then again, you know, to Bob's point, Koji Iwahara would be a Japanese teammate for Boston. You know, there's a lot of Japanese players around the big leagues, but I do think that the Yankees have had a concerted strategy over the years, not just, you know, to bring in the talented Japanese players, but to, you know, expand their international footprint, so to speak. And, you know, they've had Matsui. There's a reason that Ichiro is here, not just on a 1-year deal, but a 2-year deal. He might not get a lot of playing time this year, but he is still Ichiro. Matsui has that legacy. Kuroda's here as a big impact player. And there is only one, you know, New York Yankees. It's the kind of the flagship franchise in baseball. They're not the world champs right now. They've got some problems, but you know, that's a pretty powerful brand that the Yankees can you know, flag. The Yankees can fly.